still a gang, it's a gang, it's the gang. You already know what it is, man. Fall for that motherfucking Super Bowl, yeah.
Steelers for 7, yeah, we about to go get it. Still a game, we win it. Go down in the trenches, yeah. We ain't trying to kick it like Drake, we do it for the Sixers, then we can kick it. Yeah, this our division, the other 3 go missing. Come on, let's get it, yeah. This our division, Super Bowl, let's win it. Steelers for 7, yeah, we about to go get it. Still a gang, we win it. Go down in the trenches, yeah. We ain't trying to kick it like Drake, we do it for the Sixers, then we can kick it. Yeah, this our division, the other 3 go missing. Come on, let's get it. Yeah, this our division. Super Bowl, let's win it.
It's a new season, baby. SteelersFor7 podcast, you already know what it is, man. Gang, gang, you already know what it is, man. Still a gang, it's a gang, it's the gang. You already know what it is, man. Fall for that motherfucking Super Bowl, yeah.
Steelers for 7, yeah, we about to go get it. Still a game, we win it. Go down in the trenches, yeah. We ain't trying to kick it like Drake, we do it for the Sixers, then we can kick it. Yeah, this our division, the other 3 go missing. Come on, let's get it. Yeah, this our division, Super Bowl, let's win it. Steelers for 7, yeah, we about to go get it. Still a gang, we win it. Go down in the trenches, yeah. We ain't trying to kick it like Drake, we do it for the Sixers, then we can kick it. Yeah, this our division, the other 3 go missing. Come on, let's get it. Yeah, this our division, Super Bowl, let's win it.
It's a new season, baby. SteelersFor7 podcast, you already know what it is, man. Gang, gang, you already know what it is, man. Still a gang, it's a gang, it's the gang. You already know what it is, man. Fall for that motherfucking Super Bowl, yeah.
Steelers for 7, yeah, we
He's the
about to
number
go
2
get
to
it.
pick.
Still
He
a
can run
gang.
routes. He got good hands. He can catch some intermediate passes. That's his MO. That's what he did. That's what he do.
But I say we use him as our top route runner.
Yeah,
that's what I say.
Yeah, that's what he. I'm be honest with you. Coming in, he already kind of.
You a rookie. You really got to earn it.
George Pickens did.
He did. Hold on, Pickens did. Remember, Pickens didn't start out the gate. Yeah. And then when he was tearing it up in camp though. Remember, he was crushing it in camp.
He was making his name known early.
Yeah. So I mean, he earned it though. You know what I'm saying? He had to earn it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, I love our draft, man. I love everything we've been doing over the last 2 years, to be completely honest.
Taking risks.
Yeah.
For the first time in a decade, we're actually taking risks, and I love it.
Hey, Dre, it's been longer than a decade. It's been longer than a decade, bro. I know y'all younger than me, but it's other people that'll tell you it's been longer than a decade. It's probably been like 2 decades, maybe even 3.
This is the first episode, bro. So it's like we can go anywhere, but let's talk about what happened tonight. Let's get tonight out the way, and then we can talk wrestling talk later, you know? Like,
those are those pressure points and a lot of tension in those areas.
For those, yeah, for those folks, but everybody's different. So one person wants the Swedish, one person wants the deep tissue, sports massage. This person loves being stretched out. Some people love being stretched out. And they ask for the Thai massage. Now I'm up on the table, twisting them and turning them, and they love it.
Here's my next question for you, because I've been dying to ask. Now,
let's do it. Let's do it.
Have you been asked for a happy ending after those massages?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, you said, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Okay. That happens all the time. Like, it happens.
Yeah, all the time. All the time. Because that just some people, that's in their mind, that's what it, I don't know, that's what massage is.
I just want to point out, I mean, you said, you know, since she might have had that, so she. Those are those pressure points and a lot of tension in those areas.
For those, yeah, for those folks, where everybody.
This is the first episode, bro. So it's like we can go anywhere, but let's talk about what happened tonight. Let's get tonight out the way, and then we can talk wrestling talk later, you know? Like, Steeler Nation, what's up? It's your guy, Kev Easy, man. Look, just testing this thing out, man. Steelers for 7 podcast. This is Steelers for 7 live, bringing it back. You know, I did this a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's going to watch or tuned in or whatever. You know, I started this about a couple years ago. It wasn't too consistent. I was just trying to play around with the live streaming just to see how it goes, man. You know, if you've seen the earlier parts, man, episode 143 is out. Make sure you check it out. Episode 144 is coming tomorrow. It's going to be live. It's tough because I'm going to be multitasking, y'all. I'm a New York Knicks fan as well. So I'm going to be watching that and talking about the Steelers. You know what I mean? So shout out to the guys that's going to be joining me on that. But look, man, I'm up right now. After the draft, you know, I did some Steeler talk. Even on the podcast, you know, I spoke my piece. I'm not going to really talk about that. I already talked about that. Now it's more so like, what did the coaches say? Because I didn't watch all of them. I didn't watch them all. So I want to see what the coach say. I want to see what Omar Khan say. I want to see what the other coaches that spoke on the draft picks. And also, I'm going to go into their highlight tape because I didn't watch film on every guy we drafted yet. So I'm going to just take the time out. You know, if you hang in, you hang in. If you're not, it don't matter. The Steelers for 7 live. This one I'm doing with the time. I'm up right now. Got the energy. So I'm like, let me take the time out to do this. So let's get into it, man. You already know, first round draft pick. It was definitely my guy, Troy Font. Hold on, man. How you pronounce my man name? Fautau. That sound wrong. It sound wrong. My fault, my G. My fault, my G. I don't want you to, you know what I mean? I don't want you to. I'm going to get it right. I'm going to get it right at some point, man. Look, but as you can see right here, man, that's what we about to get into. We about to get into Omar Khan and Mike Thomas speaking on the kid, Troy, our number 1 draft pick. So let's get to it.
Thanks. Appreciate you guys all being here. As you guys know, we drafted Troy Fautanu. Excited to have him as a member of this organization. He's a Steeler. We spent a great deal of time with him. We met with Troy at the Combine. Pat Myers attended his pro day. We had him in here for a 30 visit. And like I said, we're excited to have him here. And, you know, can't wait for the rookie camp to see him here.
1 second here. I'm sorry. Really excited about Troy, as Omar said. Man, the tape was just really, really impressive. Not only in terms of his talents, but really, I think his talents were really highlighted by the way that Washington utilized his talent schematically. Man, you saw everything that you wanted to see. You saw him out in space in the perimeter game, be it crack toss or wide receiver screens. He was great in the run game. He was a great drop back passer, pass protector. We had great visits through the process. We went to Tuscaloosa, obviously, to handle some Alabama business, but we had an opportunity to really talk to some people in Tuscaloosa that you know had some firsthand knowledge of his capabilities, the coaching staff, and you know he just checked every box. We're really excited to have him, and we'll pause and open it up for questions.
Does he stick at left tackle, or do you try him on the right side?
Right now, he's a tackle. Maybe we'll have a little bit more detail for you in the morning.
Is he center capable?
No, we're not concerned about that. We legitimately see him as a tackle.
How much did it help?
Yeah, I'm sure that in the grand scheme of things, that definitely helped. Not just for us. I'm sure there are other teams that that helped. But so we're excited to have him.
Omar, to the point, you have every corner on the board, many wide receivers on the board, every center on the board. Is there anything about the evaluation of the tackle position that came into play in this equation as well? It's just about the player?
Yeah, I would say that, he was a player that we had rated really high up on the board. And he was one of the guys that we were hoping would be there and that we were targeting. And, when he was, we were on the clock when we were at 19 and waiting to see what the Rams picked. And, it was just, we just felt really good about it. He's the player we wanted.
Hey. I think position aside, he was the highest rated guy on our board. And so that just speaks to our level of excitement about having an opportunity to get him.
So, as this went on, did you field any calls or this way was dropping about you moving back?
Yeah, I mean, the phone was ringing, obviously, to move up, move back. It's just part of it. And at the end of the day, we had the opportunity to move back if we wanted to. But when we were at 19 and waiting for the Rams to make their selection, and they picked who they picked, and we weren't gonna.
We were moving off Troy.
No.
You mentioned his tape being impressive, but when you guys met with him, what off the field impressed you?
His commitment to the game, his passion for the game really was very evident in communicating with him. That was relayed to us by those that had an opportunity to not only coach him, but we talked to a lot of guys that played with him. His passion is real. It is a calling card, coupled with his tremendous athletic talent.
Speak with you guys about his effect for Troy and Tattoo and everything. I'll talk about the other before that.
Yeah, a lot of that. I think his dad is the original Steeler fan in the household. But just, he's really excited to be here. We'll let him speak for himself. But he is just a very impressive young man. Upside, young guy in the draft pool, a lot of talent, passion for the game. We're just really excited.
You took over a couple of years ago. Andy was even talking about building out the trenches, the offensive line. 2 years in, you pretty much did that. Why is that so important to you guys as an organization to have those guys up front? That's where you started.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's for obvious reason. That I've said it from the beginning. The offensive line, defensive line, those are big priorities. The big men, and that's where it starts, right? We want to be a physical football team, and it's got to start up there.
Mike, obviously most tackles check in 6'4" or taller at this level. What is it about Troy that gives you the confidence you can do it? And are there other guys that he reminds you of who've done it at his size?
What are we talking about? If he was a quarter of an inch taller, you might not be asking that. He's got great arm length, and his tape is very, very impressive. It's probably one of the reasons why he was available to us. So we really probably appreciate his stature, to be quite honest with you.
Or is it tough just to sit there and wait? And you like this guy so much, and thinking maybe I need to move up 1 or 2?
Every one of those 10 minutes were the longest 10 minutes of my life. I promise you that. Yeah.
He is not kidding you either.
Yeah.
Like, he wore me out.
Is that doubly true whenever it's that many tackles that go in?
Oh, absolutely. But and just because it's him, like Coach mentioned, he was really high on our board, and just hoping he'd still be there at 20. And it's glad. I don't even know what time it is right now, but it's 10:53. Yeah, it just can't say enough about how excited we are to have him. This guy loves football. I mean, I can't wait for you guys to get the opportunity to talk.
Just turn the tape on.
Yeah, this guy loves it.
Omar, it seemed like it was really high on a lot of other people's boards earlier. There's some stories that came out about medical concern about his knee that bumped him down. You guys okay on that front?
We wouldn't select them if we weren't comfortable with it, and I can't speak for some of the stuff that's put out there and what's true and what's not, and what other people are saying, but we're comfortable.
Like, how was that phone call? He seemed pretty emotional on screen.
I'm sorry? He was. We were laughing at him a little bit earlier because he looked angry because some tackles were coming off. But you want that. You want a guy that takes it personally, and I think that he does. He just shows all the signs of the type of guy that we want to do business with. It's important to him.
Obviously, y'all spoke about he's on the field and off the field. Were there any other qualities that stood out to you regarding him?
I just think his relationship with the game is a pure one, man. He's a competitor. He loves football. He loves the things that come with football based on talking to those around him, the preparation things, the training, practice. He's a black and gold type of a guy.
A great teammate. So he's a great teammate also.
You guys talk about the pre-draft process, but maybe early in the process, I don't know if it's college football season or whatever, but do you remember anything about how he first got on your radar and watching him play a lot of good games, and maybe how you first got interested in him?
Yeah, our scouts early on, they felt really good about him. Mark Bruner, he's a Washington alum. He's one of our scouts, and I joke with him. I think the only school he scouts is the University of Washington because he talks about those guys so often. But he was the guy we were intrigued by early on.
For me, watching them late in the season, just trying to, they were making a lot of noise out west as a collective, as a football team. And so I can remember laying in the hotel room watching them late one evening, and it was just really impressive schematically, the things that they were doing that highlighted his skills. Their perimeter game was very left-handed, and just watching it from a spectator's perspective, it just let you know that their left tackle was a special player in their eyes just by play selection. Not very often do you watch tape and see plays being called to highlight a guy that's not ineligible. But that's what it looked like watching UW tape.
Anyone else? All right.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Have the press conference
Thank you.
tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I like it, man. Like I said, man, on the pod, I like it. I like the pick. I felt like this was the beginning of what I kind of felt like the direction he was going to go in this draft. I thought he was going to go center first, but to go out and get Troy, it was fire. It was fire. You got two tackles that's mean, ready to bully some people, man. And the guys we got, and I'm speaking about the rest of the offensive linemen we picked. It's like you have to be like that as far as attitude or whatnot. You have to be like that if you want to play in the AFC North, But I want to get into the highlights, into Troy's highlights. We're going to go from last year. Shout out to SNY. We're going to check that out. Let's see what's up. Yeah, man. Legit tough guy. I like that last block, man. Like he made that hole. Like against his will, man, because he really wanted to go. It just didn't happen for him. Man. And let me see. I know he had a press conference or interview. I think he had a press conference though. Yeah. Okay. All right. He had a press conference. We're gonna get into that in a second. But yeah, man. Hold on, be quiet, man. But yeah, man. Go ahead and do that right here. Come back. But yeah, yo. I think this guy is definitely gonna start day one. I think Dan Moore. He's gonna be a day one starter on right tackle. Right. And there's a couple of people out there. I've seen a lot of tweets out there. They say, yo, man, he played left. Like, why we gonna just move him right? And why don't we just keep Broderick over there? It is some fans that are saying that. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. But if you think about it, he really played, and I'm talking about Troy, he really played right tackle because his quarterback was left-handed. So basically, he was the right tackle with that offense, man. So moving him to the right, it's not going to be a big deal because he's doing the same things. He's going to be asked to do the same things that he had to do in Washington. And then you can move Broderick over there to the left side where he is more comfortable at. He played well as a right tackle, but we know his bread and butter is the left. And Dan Moore is like, if you here, bro, you just gonna have to be the swing. You might, because we could have moved him to right tackle. Chose not to. But man, Dan Moore just gonna be a backup, or you're gonna out of there, man. But if y'all watching and talking, y'all talking, let me know. Let me know. Definitely let me know. But yeah, we're gonna get into this one right here. I'm gonna get into this one. To his press conference. Let's see how you
today. We are excited to welcome Troy Fatano and his family to Pittsburgh. Glad they were able to make it in on the red eye last night. We had some inside information on Troy this year because his teammate was Mark Bruner's son. So great to have Mark share some thoughts. And the little coincidence there is the last person we picked in the first round from Washington was Mark, and so now we're bringing Troy here from Washington. So as you know, Troy had a great career at Washington. They went all the way to the championship game this past season, and really he established himself as one of the top linemen in the country, and we were excited to make him a Steeler. So it's my honor to introduce Troy Fatano.
How you guys doing? First and foremost, I just want to thank God, man. Without him, this opportunity wouldn't be here. So I'm truly grateful. So I just want to thank, Mr. Rooney, Omar, and Coach Tomlin for taking a chance on me, man, and believing in me. I'm just super grateful to play for an organization, as Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm sure everyone knows, I grew up wanting to play for these guys and grew up a fan, and it's truly a dream come true to be here. So, yeah.
Can you take us through the last 24 hours, what it's been like since being drafted and then coming here today and spending the day with these guys?
Yeah. Last 24 hours has been a blur, man, to be honest. It's been hectic. It's crazy to think back just 16 hours ago or however long it was, I got my name called in the NFL draft, and it's something that I've been working for my entire life. Everything that I've done up until this point has to try to get to this point. You know what I mean? So I'm just truly grateful, man. It's been hectic once again, but I think I'll be able to kind of soak it in, once I get back to the hotel with my family and kind of just talk about it. So yeah.
Why the love for the Steelers?
Yeah, it all started with Troy Polamalu. I was a big Troy Polamalu fan, and then kind of watching him, and then you kind of get to see what the Steelers are about, how they play football, what the brand of football is, and then I kind of just took that and put it into my own game. You know what I mean? Like what I think of when I think of the Steelers, I think of gritty. I think of work in the trenches, like just stuff that you don't see, like, but I take personal because it's part of my, it's part of my job. So it's an awesome organization. I'm just so happy to be a part of it.
You just mentioned that Troy Palmer was kind of the origin of you becoming a Steelers fan. Mike Tomlin said last night he thought maybe your dad had something to do with you becoming a Steelers fan. I mean, what are kind of some of your earliest memories? Is that how you were influenced?
Yeah, I'm going to just clear some things up. My dad wasn't a Steelers fan. I'm not going to talk about the team that he's a fan of, but it was me that kind of just grew the love. I mean, I had an uncle and aunt that were Steelers fans, and we lived with them for a year when we moved to Vegas, and then I'm like, oh, these guys are cool. You know what I mean? They're playing the sport that I was, and then I've always gone against the grain because I'm a West Coast kid. We're from the West Coast, and my dad's was like, whoa, why do you like the Pittsburgh Steelers? They're on the other side of the country, but you know what I mean? It just happened, and everything played out the way it was supposed to. So,
what do you think this organization, this team captivated you at such a young age? You talked about how it became personal for you to a certain point.
I mean, once again, like just the grit that the team plays with. Like I grew up a really big fan of Ben Roethlisberger, and that's what I always seen him to do. You know what I mean? He's out there commanding the team and commanding that offense, and I always thought he was one of the toughest guys I've ever seen play. Like he'd get hit and get right back up. That inspired me to play the way that I do. So, yeah, hats off, man. Coach Tomlin's done a really great job. You know what I mean? And I'm just so happy to be under him and learn from him. So.
What's your first memory? Some prospects might, delete those old tweets when they come into the draft. If they were talking about a team or the league, are you glad that you left those up and everybody can kind of see how long you've been invested in this franchise even before you?
Yeah, so I thought I only left up one. So I strategically left that one just in case this happened. So I had my whole, agency and marketing team send me some tweets that, were a little questionable. So, but that one I decided to leave up, because why not, and see where we are right now. So,
how many tweets did you have to delete?
I don't remember. There was a couple, but nothing crazy.
What's your earliest memory of the Steelers? Do you remember the Super Bowls at all? Watching them?
Yeah. My earliest memory was in 2007, I believe, and it was the Steelers, and then we were playing the Patriots. I don't remember why I remember that game, but I think it was the first football game, NFL game that I've ever watched, and I don't remember what the score was. I was 7 years old, so I really can't recall anything that happened. But for some reason, that's so vivid to me.
Troy, when you were drafted, you hugged a couple women first, probably grandparents or mother. Can you tell us who they were and kind of what they mean in terms of your journey to get to this point?
Yeah, so the people that I had, sitting next to me were the people that I thought were most important in my life, and starting with my grandmothers, because fortunate.
Quick, what's dope is that the Steelers in these last two drafts, they really got guys that were fans of the Pittsburgh Steelers or got some type of tie to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's like they're incorporating more of the family-like feel, even when it comes to drafting guys and looking at guys' character, man. So it's dope. I'm going to let him keep rocking.
And enough, I still have those two strong women in my life, and it's my mom's mom, my dad's mom. The first woman that I hugged was my mom's mom. The second woman I hugged was my dad's mom. Then I went over to my parents because my parents, without them, without their sacrifice, I wouldn't be here. And then on, I went and hugged my sister and my girlfriend. So I just, those people, being able to share that moment with them because they've done so much to get me to this point, and hats off to them for believing in me from a young age. And I'm just happy to be able to be in a position to help them and, repay that. So.
Have you talked to any of your new teammates, and have you looked at the roster or thought about, I'm going to be playing with some of these guys?
Oh, yeah, man. For me, the little kid in me, man, I'm still a fan of football. You know what I mean? Sometimes I still get starstruck seeing a lot of these guys around here. Like my 30 visit, I met Isaac Seumalo, and growing up watching a guy like that, he's talking to me and he's saying that he watched me play before, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like that's not normal. And for me, Dan Moore hit me up. Russell Wilson called me on my flight here yeah, a lot of the guys hit me up, and it's crazy to me still. You know what I mean? I'm just really excited to kind of learn from those guys because a lot of those guys have been around the league for a really long time, and I'm just trying to soak up as much knowledge as I can. So.
You talk about wanting to learn things from your new teammates. What are you most excited, though, for Steelers fans to get to learn about you?
I think just the mentality that I play with. That's one thing that, you know, of course I was taught, but I feel like I've always had just the want to go hit somebody in their mouth, man. And that's just something that it's either you have or you don't. And I feel like that's something that I've always played with. Even growing up, I was running the rock. I had the ball in my hand, so I was trying to run everybody over. I was always the biggest kid playing, kids my age. So I feel like that's where I got it from. And then when I finally got to play up, it was a little bit easier. So, I just think that, that mentality that I do play with and just the passion that I have for this game. The amount of opportunities this game is offered me is something I appreciate so much, and that's why I'm like willing and I want to be able to put my all into it. So, yeah.
Troy, obviously you talk about that mentality of hitting people on the field, but I've heard you've got some other talents as well, from volleyball to cutting hair, maybe some piano and singing. How have you become such a well-rounded guy beyond just playing football?
To be honest, I just get bored when I'm sitting at home. So, like, I just go on YouTube and I'm like, oh, what can I learn today? So I picked up haircutting in high school. I played volleyball. I feel like I picked it up pretty quickly. I got it from my parents. My little sister, she plays volleyball. The whole singing thing, my sister can really sing. I've never told anyone this, but yeah, she can sing better than me, but I kind of got it from her. You know what I mean? I just do random things. I don't know. What was that? A little bit. I play guitar. I play a couple of instruments, but yeah, it's just random things. Whenever I'm at home and feel like I'm not doing anything productive, I decide to put my energy towards something. So, yeah.
The best assessment I've ever heard of you was the last man. So what do you think is still a draft pick? He said, sort of like a zip code with arm and legs. So I was like, having that mobility and having grace with it, is that one of your attributes that you can bring to the team? I really do. I feel like, I'm a product of the people around me, and the people around me were very, good at what they did with my O-line coach, who's now with Seattle, my offensive coordinators that I had, just my teammates. I mean, learning from them. I mean, the guy opposite side of me is in the draft now, Roger Rosengarten. I learned a lot from him. Playing next to my best friends, left guard, right guard, Julius Buelow and Nathaniel Kalepo. Like, I learned from them just watching them play, because we all have different play styles. And for me, I like to watch a whole bunch of people and pick things from these different players and just like try them out. You know what I mean? Try them out at practice, because that's where you do get the ability to do it. So then when I go into the game, I'm a lot more confident. So I feel like for me, it's, a lot of it I learned. Like, a lot of it didn't come natural, I feel like, being able to move maybe did, but the technique and all that stuff, I'm a student of the game. I'm a sponge, man. I'm just ready to learn. And I know I'm going to learn a lot from these guys that are in this room, so I'm super excited.
Have you been to the Steelers game before?
I've not. Yeah, I've not. It's crazy that my first one's going to, you know what I mean? I'm going to be wearing a jersey on my back, so I'm super excited for that.
Have you thought about what number you're going to wear?
I'm kind of just wearing whatever number these guys decide to give me. You know what I mean? I wore the same number my whole life, but it's really not up to me. So I'm just excited for the opportunity. So.
Troy, you mentioned last night that you were running back in the D line, and then they moved you to the O line. For somebody that likes to hit somebody, was that a move that you welcomed, or was it like, if this is what I got to do to be on the field, then this is what I got to do?
Yeah, to be honest, I always thought I was going to have the ball in my hands. You know what I mean? I always thought I was going to be able to do that. When they told me O-line was the best position to get opportunities like this, then I decided to buy in. And then once I realized how fun playing in the trenches are and how, like, crazy it gets down there, like, there's a whole lot of things that happen down in the trenches that not a lot of people see. You know what I mean? And the position that I play, we play as offensive linemen, you don't really get praised until you mess something up. But that's what, that type of pressure is the stuff that I live for, man. I enjoy that pressure. So I'm just super excited, to be here and then learn, once again, learn from these guys that are in this room and
soak up that knowledge for sure.
Two more questions. Two more.
Talking about your evolution and changing positions, starting from a running back and then eventually becoming a tackle, how did you maintain your athleticism and mobility while you continued to add some weight to your frame?
Yeah, I just always felt that athleticism was always something that I could be good at, I guess. I don't know, like just being able to move out in space. And my coaches did a really great job of putting me in situations where I could kind of show that, showcase that, especially this past 2 years with Ryan Grubb as our OC. He put me out on screens. I was pulling on counter, just things like that. Just being able to, them being able to put me in those positions, I wouldn't be here without them. So hats off to them, for sure.
Right. Last one. You ever played right side with practice? Any scenario?
Yeah, I pretty much played every position in college. I played the left side mainly in games, but our coach did a really good job of cross-training us and making sure that we were ready for any opportunity that presented itself. So, yeah, I'm comfortable anywhere, man. I'm just ready to contribute.
All right. Thank you.
My bad, y'all. But yeah, I was saying, y'all, what I liked about Troy was he said that he never went to a Steeler game before. So him not going to a Steeler game, his first Steeler game is going to be in the stadium, or for his first time in the stadium is going to be as a player. This kid about to give it his all. Like, I think he's going to have a great season, man. I really think he's going to have a great season. Boy, I know Najee can't wait. I know Najee, Jalen, Patterson, anyone else that's back there. They're going to love that, man. They definitely going to love that. But the question at the bottom, man, will Troy start day one? I say yeah. How about you? Y'all let me know. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on to our second round pick, man. Another mean motherfucker, man. Another mean guy, man. As far as like football, I don't want to do that to the kid. But look, we're going to get into Coach. I think Arthur Smith is the one that actually did the press conference. So we're going to get into that, man. So let's get into that right now. Skip.
Pedigree, his resume, the amount of snaps he has in college, certainly his background in wrestling. He's been a high achiever his whole life, and we couldn't be more fired up to get Zach in the building.
Well, when you took this job, how important is it to you as a former offensive line coach to build up this line? Well,
I was just excited to opportunity to get here to Pittsburgh, and it's just any great team I've been around, it's always going to start up front. There's obviously so many important pieces, but when you want to play a certain brand of football, the Steelers brand of football, it certainly helps to have the right guys.
Arthur, to get a tackle like you got with Troy and then be able to come back right away and get a center, which there was a big hole there? I mean, how significant, how important is that?
I mean, it's just, sometimes in the draft, there are a lot of great players, and, selfishly, certainly things break your way, and they feel like that. Obviously, last night and today or tonight, but just really excited to get a chance to work with both of them. And, even Broderick, still early in his career as well. There's a lot of guys, Isaac, all these linemen, Dan, I'm really fired up to get a chance to work with.
Building off of that, how much of what is going through your head right now is, hey, draft one on the job, and my line is first rounder last year, first and second rounder this year. You've got a lot of talent, but at the same time, wow, that's young. I mean, there's a lot of youth I'm going to have to work with a new system and a new team.
Yeah, but I'm excited about it. I've been fortunate enough to coach a lot of great young players in previous stops, and these guys have a lot of experience. Both Zach and Troy have. They played a lot of snaps. They're not that green, and there's always a learning curve getting into the National Football League. But and there's a lot of guys that have been here, and it'll sort itself out. But it's certainly appreciate the investment, and they're all really top end players in their own right, and that's our job to help them reach their potential and really the chemistry with the entire line and how they fit.
What is it about the makeup and the demeanor and the attitude of these two guys that you guys have drafted in the line the first two rounds? What is it about their attitude that you like, or that makes them the right fit for the Steelers?
Well, I think the consistency. They played a lot of snaps at a high level, and they're not up and down players. They're truly two really physical players, play with high effort, high football IQ. So they check a lot of boxes for us.
Arthur, looking at your resume and the tape, we can get a sense of what you want to do. But in your own words, how would you describe the identity and the philosophy of the offense you hope to install here?
Well, there's certainly a style of play and intent we want. That fits this team and the history here, the Steelers, and the brand of football, and that shared vision. But every team I've been on, I mean, you want to have that. You want to win the line of scrimmage, but there's also you're going to adapt to the strength of your team, and that's a lot of times that's coach speak. But I would like to argue that I've done that at every stop I've been to. You try to play to the strengths of your team, and but you certainly want to have, if you want to have a physical team and play with an edge, you need those guys up front.
Do you think you have that now? You have that type of mentality, that type of player?
Certainly well on our way. It certainly feels that way, and we're really excited. And excited about a lot of the players that were already here on the roster that I've gotten to know the last couple of weeks. And just really excited how it plays out in camp, competition, everything.
Project a long way down the road maybe, but is there value in a group of young offensive linemen being together, growing up together 4, 5, 6, being together? The Steelers had that about a decade ago. They drafted a bunch of linemen. They played together 5, 6, 7 years together. Is there value in that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that chemistry and fit, and those guys, some of those guys that grow together, you want to make sure, love everybody to play every snap and to stay healthy, but you continue to develop, the back end of the roster always, and the consistency that definitely helps.
Anybody have anything about Zach or Troy?
Arthur, Zach suffered a pretty serious leg injury in the final game of West Virginia season last year. Is there any lingering concerns with that leg, and what was that medical vetting process like for you guys?
Well, it's certainly something I would, defer to Mike and Omar. Obviously, we feel very confident in the player, selecting him here, and certainly his resume and his background. And like I said, I couldn't be more excited.
Anything away from him kind of crawling himself off the field after he did that? That was a pretty tough moment.
That's who he is. That's who his resume is. It wasn't trying to just do some dramatic shot for the camera. I mean, that's his history and his body of work. One of the tougher guys I've seen on film. It reminds me a lot of Ben Jones, and it's a real toughness to him.
Both these guys have experience playing a second sport.
Ben
Troy playing
Jones.
volleyball and Zach
I
wrestling.
like that.
When you
I like
see that in offensive linemen, does that make you stop, maybe look a little bit more? Does it say anything about their athleticism or the way they move?
I think it's awesome to see. I think that, not to get on the soapbox here, but I think a lot of times you see a lot of specialization going on in youth sports, and I think it helps when you have a different, diverse background, different skilled player. But it just, a guy like A.J. Brown was a phenomenal baseball player, could track the ball as a center fielder. I think it helps. I think it helps to have well-rounded. I was shocked to see Troy. I didn't know that. I thought they may have had a weight limit in in volleyball. It's pretty impressive, but that certainly helps. You see it.
Did Troy remind you of anybody that? The name mentioned Ben
You know,
or Zach.
well, yeah, it's more Ben Jones' style of play, and sometimes I stay away from comps. I think, again, Zach, you know, he's got his strengths in his own right. Troy is just unique. You know, his power, the initial clicks off the ball, those are all very impressive.
You alluded to Zach Frazier being a high achiever. One of those things was in the classroom is really high GPA. How do you feel like his intelligence will help with some of the responsibilities that come with that center position?
Yeah, he's got a lot of experience, you know, pulling the ball, making calls. There's obviously going to be adjustment to the National Football League, but that experience really helps. You know, I guess when he was in here, he was telling me he's also does a lot of woodworking, builds things, and just that resume is impressive. He's a very, very mature person for that age coming in here, and that helps, especially if we want him to play center.
Troy was here earlier today. He was talking about how he liked to go on YouTube and learn things, how to cut hair, play piano, things like that. Sounds like he's similar to Zach, and that they like to have hobbies outside of football. Just what does that add to have a guy that has so many other interests in addition to being a great football player?
That's kind of what you want. I mean, I think it's good. You always want to be curious. You want to be, you know, constantly learning. You're never going to know it all. I mean, I try to challenge myself that way. It is funny. That's become normalized. Learning on YouTube. I have an 11-year-old that learns how to code and video game, I guess, cheats on YouTube. But it just shows their overall makeup. And that's another reason we're excited to have both of them.
Partner, with the guys you had with Troy and Zach, you guys have a lot of guys that are really good pullers. How does that kind of help your run scheme and setting that tone up front?
Yeah, when those guys are really comfortable playing in space, there's certain things you want to add. I mean, you don't want to get stale. You know, you're not just going to reprint a playbook from a year before or 4 years ago. Like I said, there's a certain intent we want to play, but you want to evolve too, play to the strengths, and they can certainly be up front. You know, we're not going to get stale. There's going to be schemes you add every year, the wrinkles. I mean, we're going to have our, you know, core philosophy, but you have to stay at the top of that. The game changes and depending on personnel. So that you're excited about that versatility for sure.
As excited as you are, I'm sure, to get Troy in the first round, get a first round tackle. Was it tough to leave those centers, including Zach, the good ones on the board, where you're kind of sweating it out in the second round, like seeing picks go by and hoping that he was still going to be there at 51?
The last couple of years, I mean, there's things that are in your control and out of your control. You're just excited when it breaks your way. You know, like I said, there's a lot of great players in this draft, and obviously Mike and Omar and Mr. Rooney, you know, they're the ones that have to make those decisions. And I think I have a more appreciation now than been in that role before. Just I feel fortunate, like I said, selfishly as the OC, that we were able to get both Troy and Zach.
Two more. As you looked at the tape, what jumped out on each one of those two players?
The consistency and, you know, the intent that they play with. They both play with an edge. I think they're very smart players, but that consistency, you don't see a lot of lulls in their game, and that's a credit to both of them and the way they worked and they trained.
They both have 30 plus, 40 plus college starts, especially at that offensive line. Is that value? Is that something that over your years known to take players like that, college experienced players, can step in a little easier?
Yeah, like I said, I'm really impressed with their body of work. You know, it's the old adage, and you're looking at the whole body of work, or you're looking at just the SAT test. You know, that sometimes you get caught, you know, in the recency or the, you know, guys running the 40s or the shuttles, but you go back to the tape and both those guys, it's impressive, their body of work.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I like the Ben Jones comparison, man. If y'all don't know Ben Jones was a solid. I don't want to describe him, man. But Paul's like he was a solid, thick guy. You feel me? Yeah, I like that comparison. I think he definitely is going to be somebody that's going to be a major. He might mess around and be the leader of the offensive line. I know we talking about Broderick Jones, but when the center got that, in them. Hey, yo, what we doing? No, you gonna call it play, man. But look, we're gonna check out his highlights, and and then after that, we're gonna go into his press conference. So let's get into that, Judy. There we go. There we go. Let's one this thing, man. Shout out to I'll shout you out after this, man. Whoever put this together. We see Ben Jones. I mean, it's not Ben Jones. Zach Frazier. Let's get into it. Okay. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Take him out to play. Ooh. 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 There's more? Ooh. Oh, that's a replay. Ooh. Man. Ooh. And these are big boys he's doing this to, man. These are not like little guys. Like, he does a great job at kind of using their momentum against them. And then he does jobs like this where it's like, yo, straight up, hey, yo, bro, I don't want you on 2 feet anymore. Get down. Get down. I like what I see, man. Ooh. Woo! Yeah, shout out to whoever made this highlight, man, because I would want to run that back too. For real. Okay. Pass pro. Dude ain't do nothing. Dude ain't do nothing. Stood him up too. I like the hand on the neck though. You know what I mean? You got, keep them hands down, man. As far as the defender. Let's go. Ooh. Ooh. Like the reset. Ooh. Reset. Ooh. Reset. Where you going? Stay here. Y'all, I only saw this like I'm watching this highlight for the first time now. So like none of this stuff is timed. Like I'm saying, like, yo, it's look crazy. Ooh, block down. Yo, these guys don't really get away from him. Once he get his hands on you, I like that. I like that. He didn't hold, well, at least didn't make it look like he had. Because you definitely hold every play, offensive lineman. Whew. Hands on the guy. Push that man damn near 12 feet. I mean, not 12 feet. 12 yards. Come on. Come on. Yo, when is the first game? Oh, my gosh. Yo. Whew. Oh, passing to his man. Yo, I like that. They're not going to run it back? All right. They're not going to run it back. Still, where are you going? I like that may be an issue, but I like that he's staying these guys up, man. Yeah, he does a great job using their momentum against him, man. And being like strong with his actions. Like he's very sure about what he's doing. Okay, I like the adjustment. Ooh. Boy, the people who, man. highlights are highlights, man. So I would like to see some lowlights too, but I don't want to see no lowlights, period, at all. He'll put you down, man. Yeah, get out there. Yeah, man. He's definitely starting. Like that's not even like a question for me. Like, he's definitely starting. Oh, whoa, my boy. We don't do none of that. Oh, that was it. That was it. Bang. That was it. Bang. That was it. Bang. Yo, whew. That got me hyped. Yo, it's late. It's late. It's about 2:30. It's late. That definitely woke me up, yo. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. The people that's up in here. Everyone that's tuning in. Let's get into what he had to say for himself, man. Let's get into what he had to say for himself. Once I get to it. Here we go.
And we'll move along. So, Zach, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm unbelievably excited to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. I want to thank the Rooney family. I want to thank Omar Khan. I want to thank Coach Tomlin. I want to thank everyone that helped me get here, my family, my wife. I want to thank everyone at West Virginia that has helped me to this point. I'm ready to get to work, and yeah.
There's a long history of some really successful centers here. Marquise Pouncey being the latest one. Does that mean anything to you? How exciting is it to get an opportunity to be the next one?
Yeah, there's a rich tradition of great centers here, and there's definitely a high standard for that position, and that's just going to make me work that much harder to uphold that standard and keep that standard.
What was that moment like last night when you got the phone call? Did you have any cell service issues before that? You were cutting out?
Yeah, I did. So I got the call and I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me. So I was going all over the house trying to figure out where I could get the best service, but it all worked out. Yeah.
What was that moment like when you hear them and they're saying, "Hey, we're picking you"? What's going through your mind in that moment?
Yeah. Well, I kind of got thrown a curveball because they couldn't hear me. They're like, "Zach, are you there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here," but they couldn't hear me. So I'm scrambling all over the place. But it was an unbelievable feeling to have that weight lifted off your shoulders and just have that relief of knowing that I finally got picked, and then also that I got picked here just right up the road.
This is why I stopped shopping on Amazon, and you should too. Don't spend another dime on Amazon.
Go ahead, Mike. The last play of your college career when you crawled off the field, that play's gotten a lot of attention. When we asked offensive coordinator Arthur Smith about it, he said that's just who you are. Where does that come from? Who are the people, or how did you develop that kind of an attitude, that kind of a mindset?
I would say just my family. you know, I was just kind of raised to, you know, do everything you can to do everything in your power to help the team win. And I didn't even think twice about it. You know, when it happened, it's just something that I did. Yeah, I just try to do my part.
Given the severity of your knee injury and when it happened, how would you describe the offseason when it comes to rehab and then having to stack on a draft process with that?
Yeah, it was definitely not planned, and definitely you know, not my plan, but the Lord's plan. So everything worked out for you know, a reason. And you know, I was thankfully my injury really wasn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. I was able to come back pretty fast, heal up, and you know, be able to do everything at pro day and some stuff at the combine. And you know, I'm ready to play football now.
Feeling 100% now?
Yeah. Yep.
Sunk in, or is it still kind of
not all the way? I keep pinching myself. It doesn't quite feel real.
What was the ride up here like this morning?
Yeah, it was unbelievable to just hop in my truck and drive up here, you know, and not have to get on a plane. You know, I think when it hit me is when I drove through the tunnel and saw the city. It's like, oh, this is real. This is pretty cool.
The reaction from your family, I mean, you're from Fairmont, you go to West Virginia, that's your choice, but to get picked and to be so close to home, I'm sure you're going to have, you know, family asking for tickets yet already. What was kind of the reaction like that?
Yeah, they were ecstatic. You know, like I said, we're just, you know, an hour and a half down the road, so they couldn't have been any more happy. So it was definitely a special moment for my family, and
Anyone else? Was that your parents' house you were at last night?
it was my uncle's house.
Collection of memorabilia. Yeah, there's some Ray Lewis, some Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Steelers stuff in there.
Yeah, he has a couple of Steelers jerseys, but he's a Cowboys fan. I had some like local media there, and they wanted to, you know, interview me, and I was like, I can't do it in front of all this Cowboys stuff. We gotta get out of here. But yeah, it was funny.
Did you have a feeling that the Steelers might take you, that you might end up here? And what were some of the things that they wanted to ask and learn about you on your visit here?
Yeah, I knew it was a possibility. Of course, you don't get to pick, and you don't know what's going to happen. So there's a lot of uncertainty. But, you know, as the picks kept getting closer to Pittsburgh, you know, I kept getting more and more excited because I knew that was a possible, you know, spot for me. And, you know, when I saw the 412 area code, I knew right away. Actually, in our meeting, when I came up here in the, you know, pre-draft process, yeah, you know, Coach Tomlin was joking around. He's like, "Don't answer the phone unless it's 412." So once I saw it, I knew right away.
You played here a couple years ago, right? In the
Yeah.
backyard brawl.
Yep.
Is that going to be? I know your Steelers going to be weird at all being right next door to Pitt, given that rivalry and.
Yeah, it's funny. The people in West Virginia, they hate Pitt, but they love the Steelers. It's the weirdest thing, but yeah, it's definitely going to be special.
Steeler games at all?
Yeah. The last Steeler game I was at was Big Ben's last game against Cleveland.
You're obviously an accomplished wrestler. Only lost twice. I'm curious, how did you ever lose? What do you remember about the losses, and how did you then respond to those?
Yeah, both of the losses were my freshman year, earlier in the season, and just I was able to overcome that, and then you know, I didn't lose again. So.
How long of a drive is it door to door?
When I left my apartment in Morgantown, it was an hour and 15. So yeah, pretty quick.
With the wrestling, I mean, the Troy picked day before you, he did high school volleyball. I mean, to have both you and him and so many players now play multiple sports, how much does that help you to not specialize before you begin this NFL career?
Yeah, I think it's good for younger kids to just play as many sports as they can because, like for me, there's a lot of things in wrestling that carry over to football. And I think it's just good to just, you know, make well-rounded athletes, especially at that age. There's no reason to specialize too early. Obviously, when you go to college, you have to, but yeah.
What about your game? Do you think it's going to carry over well into the NFL?
I would say just the way I play, playing physical, setting the tone up front.
That you tried to model your game after, that you liked watching to kind of pick up and see what they do?
Yeah, I liked watching. Well, last offseason we studied the Eagles' offensive line. Watched Jason Kelsey. Obviously, he's really special. I like watching Creed Humphrey. Like watching his game. I like watching football, so I like watching everyone really.
I think you and Troy back to back. Have you gotten to interact with him, or what do you know about Troy?
Yeah, I met him a little bit at the combine, but yeah, I'm so excited to get to work with him. You know, when they were playing in the playoffs and the national championship, I watched him a lot. He's a very good player, and I'm excited to get to work with him.
Build furniture?
Yeah, I do some woodworking projects.
Couches or end tables?
No, like end tables, desks. I built a shoe rack, like just whatever my wife wants that I don't want to buy. yeah.
Did you really get straight A's all through school, like all the stories?
Through high school, I got 2 B's in college, I think. Yeah, 2 or 3. Yeah.
How much of that first B bothered you?
It bothered me. Yeah, I was in engineering at the time, so yeah.
Couple more. Zach, you have, with you and Broderick is basically the same age as here last year. It's kind of like you have almost like a recruiting class on the offensive line. You have 3 young guys all coming together. How exciting is that? You come into a locker room where everybody's established and 10 years older than you. It seems like you have a group that you can build together with and get some chemistry with for a long time.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think the pieces are there to have, like you said, a good core group of guys for a long period of time. And I think at offensive line, it's important to build chemistry with the guys next to you. That's kind of how it was with me at West Virginia. We had the same group of guys for basically 3 years. And by my senior year last year, we were all pretty tight and kind of knew what each other were thinking and stuff like that. So definitely excited for that.
Did anyone come down with you today on that hour-and-a-half drive? Like just you by yourself, or did you bring wife, family?
Yeah, my wife's here, my parents are here, my brother's here, and then my uncle's families are coming up to the draft party too.
Did you guys all fit the same truck, or did you take like multiple?
Oh, just the 5 of us were in my truck, and then there's more coming up. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man. Another guy, high character guy. You can tell we're going to get his best effort. You saw the tape. We seen the tape. I think he's going to be a day 1 starter. We didn't draft these guys to sit behind somebody. Not these two. Not these two. Now, the next person, the next draft pick, we don't know. We don't know. I got hopes for the guy, Shout out to Mitch. His favorite college is Michigan. You know what I mean? If you don't know Mitch, you feel me? He's money-making Mitch. Yeah, he got his own show, on IG. But he be on SteelersFor7 podcast, man. And before we actually get into the next draft pick, if y'all didn't see episode 143, this is what you missed.
Be the number 2 to Pickens. He can run routes. He got good hands. He can catch some intermediate passes. That's his MO. That's what he did. That's what he do.
But I say we use him as our top route runner.
Yeah,
that's what I say.
Yeah, that's what he. I'm gonna be honest with you. Coming in, he already kind of.
You a rookie. You really got to earn it.
George Pickens did.
He did. Hold on, Pickens did. You gotta remember, Pickens didn't start out the gate.
Yeah.
And then when he was tearing it up in camp though. Remember, he was crushing it in camp.
He was making his name known early.
Yeah. So I mean, he earned it though. You know what I'm saying? He had to earn it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, I love our draft, man. I love everything we've been doing over the last 2 years, to be completely honest.
Taking risks.
Yeah.
For the first time in a decade, we're actually taking risks, and I love it.
Hey, Dre, it's been longer than a decade. It's It's been longer than a decade, bro. I know y'all younger than me, but it's other people that'll tell you it's been longer than a decade. It's probably been like 2 decades, maybe even 3.
Yeah. We back in the building. Yeah. We end up drafting Roman Wilson out of Michigan. I think day one starter is. I'm not sure saying yeah like I will for the first 2. Now y'all saying, look, we didn't get any receivers or anything like that. It has been a lot of talk in the last 24, probably like 36, maybe 48 hours about the Steelers really trying to get a big name receiver. I heard names like Deontay Adams. I heard names like DK Metcalf. I heard names like, hold on, man. I heard names like Brandon Ayuk, of course, him. I heard names like Justin Jefferson. I heard about everybody. And my thing is, hold on, man. Hold up. Y'all gotta see me when I say this, man. Hold up. That's crazy if we pull one of those things off. If we get one of those top guys without hurting ourselves, it's a little crazy. It could be crazy. But Roman Wilson, man, I think the young guy is exactly what we need as far as who's going to handle the intermediate stuff. While George Pickens can do his thing deep and wherever, this offense is not going to be like the ones we've seen the past 3 years, 3.5, 5 years. For real. So looking forward to seeing what's going on. So scratch what I said. Let's go into what Arthur Smith said about him.
Really high football character player, a lot of production last year at Michigan, part of that really impressive class in the draft this year. It was really fun, being at that Michigan Pro Day, getting a chance to go to dinner with all those guys, with Mike, and be a part of that process. Really impressed with him on the football field, but just off the field as well. So, again, fired up to get a chance to work with Roman.
It seemed pretty obvious from the outset of the Senior Bowl that Mike Tomlin was pretty interested in Roman. When you first got to watch his tape and got to know him, what stood out to you about him?
The competitiveness. I think you could see his instincts on tape. I thought he, stepped up in the big moments. He had a great energy about him too when I met him in person. Just being a part of it. A lot of people at dinner. Again, you could see meeting a lot of those guys in Michigan why they won the national championship. That's a credit to those players and that staff. Again, we're just really excited to add that kind of value and experience as a rookie and add to that receiver room.
Arthur, where do you expect him to fit into this offense?
Yeah, well, he's got versatility, and so it's as the game's evolved, and if you do motion and you play condensed on early downs, whether you're at the X or the Z, it's kind of interchangeable. Now you're getting into some of the drop back situations in the passing down. I mean, he's got inside out flex. Certainly, you like his instincts that you can play inside, on those kind of obvious pass situations. But he'll have a lot of versatility. He's got a lot of instincts. Again, high football character guy.
Just talked now about high character guy. At that position, the perception is that there aren't a lot of high character guys. Is that your feeling, and is that why he stands out to you?
Well, I think it's one of the many attributes that makes him an impressive pick for us. But I think that's very subjective. My experience, again, I just go back on my own experience where I've been fortunate to work with guys I think that have high football character. And again, that's a very subjective thing, but I just look at their resumes and just my interactions and their body of work. So whether you agree or disagree with that, I guess it's pretty subjective, but I guess I've been lucky.
Mentioning that high football
football character, he was just saying that he'll block his ass off. I mean, what does it mean to have a guy that is that gritty, and how important was it when you're looking at tape to see him, I mean, doing that dirty work?
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes you don't knock a guy, you know, the way the game is played in college, you know, I guess they're changing some of the timing rules. A lot of offenses get a lot more snaps than they do in professional football. You know, so you don't knock them, especially if they're playing really fast sometimes, you know. But I think with Michigan, you saw call it a pro style, and they did a lot of things that would translate to the pro game. What I saw was a great teammate. You know, everybody wants the ball, and that's great. You want guys that want the ball. I got a problem with guys that don't want to work. So the guys are good teammates and do that. You get more possessions. You extend drives. I think the tape shows a lot about your personality. People can say what they want, but you look at their actions, and certainly Roman's pop off at you. The tape backs up when you meet him in person. And we're just really excited to get him in our program.
He drew an analogy, or said that he followed, tired himself a little bit after Tyler Lockett, given Russ being your quarterback. You see a little of that imagery. Can you picture that? So,
no, I never got a chance to work with Tyler Lockett. Been a big fan of his. You know, he's been a really productive player. That'd be hard for me to compare him. You know, obviously, if Roman sees himself that way, I think Roman's a unique football player in his own right. And I'm just excited. I won't make a judgment on until I really get to work with him. That's the way I can answer that for you.
you do have a very blank slate right now in the receiver room. Is that
Yes.
where that versatility that you mentioned before comes into play? Because you don't know who else could be dotted in there that he can bounce around and do different things. Is that part of why you chose him where you chose him?
Well, I think it's an organization. I mean, we felt the value we added to this team. I think the reality in the NFL, you know, you go week in and week out, you know, you're talking about, you know, maybe 1,100 snaps in the regular season and hopefully more playing into February. So you need the depth. And certainly you may have game plans, and if you have an injury somewhere and you don't have guys that can go in, you know, you're going to have to adapt your plan. So if you have guys that are versatile, they know more than one spot, there's a lot of added value on game day, especially as a young player.
What are some of the things Roman needs to improve on at this level? Is it hard to evaluate it at all when a guy's coming from such a dominant offense and they weren't stopped very often last season?
Yeah, I mean, look, every player, you know, if you're going into your 13th season, you're always looking to improve. I mean, there's always things you got to work on, and same with coaches. You want to continue to improve and evolve. So we're just excited. And again, we got a long journey ahead of us as you know, get ready to play a season, get ready for week 1. And that's ultimately what you're starting to build when they get into the building in rookie mini camp. There's a progression to get these guys ready to go. And we're just excited he's part of this rookie class.
It looks like It looks like he did most of his damage between the numbers. Just how does that fit into what you want to do here?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when the game for a lot of teams now, there's so much condensed, you know, totally inside the numbers, and you know, people motion all over the place now, so they're not very static. So you've got to be versatile, and there's a lot of it. If you're going to get into actions, and you see some of these, you know, what do you call them, run alerts or bubbles, and the play action and the movement game. I mean, if you've got instinct, and you know, it's different. And then you get to the drop back, and obviously, if he's got instinct and he can match up and win in the slot, that's a huge added value. You know, on those, you know, critical 3rd, 4th downs, 2-minute situations. So we're just excited. You know, hopefully continue to work like all these guys and expand his game and have a little inside-out flex.
One more.
Outside of Russ, this is a fairly young offense.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that there will be anything challenging about that, or is that exciting to you that you have a bunch of young guys that you can kind of mold to what you want?
I'm excited. I've never been afraid to play young guys or veterans. Like I said, it just competition that hopefully we'll have and create. That doesn't give me, again, that's not bravado. We've done it and look forward to working with these guys. And, you know, we'll be counting on a lot of these guys, you know, young players, not a lot of experience. But that ball is going to kick off week 1. And, you know, it's our job to get ready to roll.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah. Arthur Smith, man, he boring. I ain't gonna hold you. He boring. He boring, yo. Hopefully he don't talk about the other offensive lineman we got, man. Boy, we gonna see. But look, this right here, Roman Wilson's highlights, man. Shout out to Steeler Nation. I think Steeler Nation highlights put this thing together. Shout out to them. Let's get into it. Hopefully, there's no ads. Shit is a blow. Major. All right. Okay. 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 You don't need to be doing all that. Okay. Getaway speed. Keep it moving. Whoop. Ew. Too late. I scored. Yeah. Okay. John Elway style. I. Look, the highlights is cool. I think he'll contribute. He's definitely going to give Calvin Austin a run for his bread. Now, speed wise, you can give it to Calvin, but as far as production or what we need, and then on top of that, it's more so like he gets open in the middle of the field. That's one thing I noticed. I don't want to compare him to him, but he's very aggressive as far as catching the football. You like to see that. He likes to block. That's a key thing in his offense, man. We're gonna be running that rock. So if you don't like to block, this team you will be not a member of. You feel me? I think he's capable. I think we definitely gonna see some production out of him. Yeah. Well, we end up picking which would end up being on a lot of people's opinions, blogs, podcasts or whatever, they say this was the steal of the draft, and that is Peyton Wilson. Peyton Wilson, and we have defensive coordinator Terrell Austin. I say Tarnell. Terrell Austin, man. We're gonna have Terrell Austin speak his piece about the boy. Let's get into it.
Yeah, obviously, he was a guy we had high on our board. We liked him as a football player. Obviously, very productive, fast, really has good football instincts, all the things you kind of want in a football player. So we're, to see him where he was and have an opportunity to get him, we thought that was a good thing and like where we're at with that.
Gene, how do you balance his injury history with the production that he's had over the last couple of years?
Oh, I don't. I look at the tape that I see. I let the doctors handle all the medical stuff. My job is to grade the tape as a football player and what I think and how he helps our defense. And he brings some speed to our defense. He brings some physicality to our defense, the ability to cover guys. And so that's what I look at.
What most stood out about him on the tape? What?
Speed. He can really go. And he is a quick trigger guy, which I think, you like that as a linebacker. He sees and diagnoses things fairly quickly and allows his speed, to really show up in games.
Obviously tested in the 40 really fast, but that speed is evident on tape too.
Yes, I think, there's always, when you look at it, there'll be guys you'll watch. Sometimes you go, boy, I don't know. I didn't know he was that fast when they run the 40 at the combine or whatever they do. But when you watch his tape, you go, boy, that guy's fast. And he time fast. So that's always a good thing that a guy that plays to his speed.
How do you see him fitting in with next to Patrick Queen?
Well, right now we just want to get him in here and kind of get him up to speed to what we do. Where he fits and how he fits, that'll be determined by him once he gets in here and learns what he does, and then we'll see how he does and how fast he is able to, earn a spot.
You mentioned the quick twitch and the speed. Is that what led to those interceptions? You also have a good knack for the football as well.
I think it's a little bit of all of that. I think when you watch guys that get around the ball quite a bit, they're usually good key react guys. They see things and they trust what they see and they go fast. And I think you see that in his play.
What does he bring to the position from a mentality standpoint? I know that's important to you guys with linebackers. It seems like he had good reviews from that his time at NC State.
Yeah, he's he's one of the guys that he loves football. I think that's one of the characteristics we look for in those guys because it's a tough game. Excuse me, and him being the way he likes football, the way he is a good leader on his team. All those things are attractive, and so I think he can bring that to us as well.
Gerald, do you think those attributes will start off well in special teams? Like that's a place where you can make an impact, right?
Absolutely. I think any young guy that comes in, that's where the first place you want them to, make their bones, so to speak, is being available and active in special teams until you earn a spot as a starter.
Two more questions here on how he dovetails with Patrick. I know Patrick, one of the things you like about him is his blitz ability. Does he allow then that coverage ability in the middle of the field so you can free up Patrick and plays were there together?
I think, his, again, not talking about how he pairs with Patrick, but just I think his ability to run and play in space is really attractive. And, we know what PQ can do. And so we'll see what he can do. If he can bring the things that he's showing on college tape to us, I think it'll be a bonus for us because we'll have a guy that he also shows that he can blitz, but he shows, he can cover, he can blitz, he can do a lot of different things. And I think that's always valuable when you have a guy that can do both.
Last one, unique body style. It's like 6'4", but kind of skinny. Runs real fast. Like, does that make it harder to see how he might fit in your defense? Ask him maybe to do different things, or do you like maybe, hey, this is the guy that's doing things nobody else can do? That's what we like.
Yeah, I looked at is how he played on tape. I didn't put it together with, maybe he's a little bit taller, or maybe he's, this and that, and nitpick that way. I looked at what he had on tape, what our scouts thought about him, how we evaluated him against the crowd, and we went from there. And what we thought was we found ourselves a Steeler football player.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. You gotta step it up this year, Terrell. You got some pieces, man. Granted, you ain't do too bad, but You can do a lot better. I know you can do a lot better. Do I know? You think you do a lot better? I don't know, man. But yeah, I definitely like this pick. You look at the tape. Like, yeah, I've seen these highlight tapes and all that, and most of them been like a minute, maybe 2 minutes. This one right here, I'm not going front. I was like, yo, I had to let y'all know, and not even let y'all know. I had to witness this with y'all. The amount of chaos this man like causes. Not just that, it's like, yo, I haven't seen a Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker that moved like this since number 50, man. Let's get into his highlights. Let's get into him. Pick 6. Come on, man.
And this is not a UConn team. It's not the same team as last year.
Fagnano intercepted. First interception, Wilson with the swipe, and that will do it in East Hartford. Team with 19 picks last year.
Drones gets it. Flushed. He's going to have to do it on his own and can't come anywhere close.
Yo, I mean, so Hibbler got that initial pressure, but Peyton Wilson came out of nowhere.
First and 10 for the Blue Devils, and there's Peyton Wilson just shutting the door on Moore. My goodness.
He just comes flying in there. Change of
Yo, man. This dude. Now, land. Boom. Boom. Seize. Ball. Get. Ball. What ACL? I don't need that. Whoop. Give me that. That's crazy. He got that off, though. Ooh. I wish I might. Bam. Now, come on, y'all. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Same size the tight end right there. 6'4". Okay, you gotta be a little careful with that next level. But yeah, he's the reaction time on a beam. Good coverage. Could have got the pick though. Get around the block. I'm throwing him. Now attack. Got him. Got him. Got him. Oh, where are you playing? Let's get it. Sit down. He on the edge. Ooh, just go around the guy. This guy literally probably play middle and outside. Man, you gotta do this to the Kings, man. Not the Kings, man. I'm not gonna play this whole 8 minutes though. We gotta move it along, man. Still in the draft? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Ain't we lucky we got him? For real. Because just imagine if the Ravens got him. That would be a problem. That would be a problem. But off defense, I'm gonna let this run for a little bit more. But off defense, right back to offense. And with offense, we went back to the line. Back to the line. Back to the line. We ended up picking up Mason McCormick. And I think that the offensive line coach, Pat Meyer, I think he was on that did the press conference. Yeah, it was him. All right, so we're going to get into that. We're going to get into what he said about our 4th round pick, Mason McCormick.
Hey, Pat, go ahead and open up with some comments first.
Yeah, so obviously, Mason, we obviously loved it and got him here, 3rd round. Kids, comes from a smaller school, 1AA division there, South Dakota, but the kid's tough. He plays football the right way. He loves football. He wanted to be a Steeler. I know that just talking to him, working the kid out. So we're obviously excited to have him. So we got obviously have him penciling it at the guard position, and he'll come in and compete from day one.
Questions?
Okay. Have you ever had a 1, 2, and a 4 before in your coaching career?
I have not. This is the first time doing it, and the draft's still young, so we'll see what happens there later on.
Pat, why so many offensive linemen?
Why so many? Well, I mean, numerous reasons. I mean, obviously, we want to get, continue to become youthful at that position. We got Broderick last year, picked 3 this year. The draft's always different. You never know. I mean, we could have came out with 0 this year. We came out with 3. Just the way the draft order goes down and the picks and who's available at that position. But obviously, we're excited about it, having 3 new guys in the room. It'll be, all 3 of them be great additions for us.
Is there a common trait that all 3 of these guys have, these offensive linemen have, in their attitude or the way they play that really jumped out to you guys in the process?
I would say that's probably the main thing is, just their, like you said, like just their attitude and their play style. I don't want to say like they're not pretty players, all that. It's just all 3 of them have those quality that you really like that here, especially at the Steelers. I mean, you talk about guys that are tough, that love ball, that are like just fanatics about it. All 3 of those guys have those kind of traits that we were really looking for here over the last couple of years.
Is there a difference between evaluating Division I and Division I AA guys?
Not really. I mean, obviously you got to look at who they're playing in that, and obviously you like those kids that come from the smaller schools to play like in some form of bowl games like Mason did, and get to play against better competition in terms of there's still a lot of good competition there, but just day in and day out because the leap from college to this level to the NFL is obviously going to be a huge jump for all of them because every day they're playing against the best. So in terms of evaluation, not really. I mean, you still look for the traits, in terms of physical traits and play style. Do they have that? And do they, what redeeming qualities do they have that we really love? And then then their makeup, their background, their makeup, their play style, the way they're brought up, and in the athletic realm and football and that's what we all look for.
Did you watch his Iowa tape?
I'm sorry?
Against Iowa?
Oh, yeah. Like last year against Iowa, you're talking? Yeah. Good. That obviously, when you have a guy like that, and they play like, a major, Power 5 school like that, you study that one too, because the competition is what it is. They typically have, a better athlete or a better player playing against them. So no, we studied them in the bowl game, and you know, just many games. Just again, regardless of like the competition, what it is, it's like the style of play and, you know, play in and play out. How do the guys finish? You know, just again, play style. How do they finish? You know, how do they act throughout the game? You know, are they banged up in this game? Do they still play through injury? You know, all that type of stuff. We study all of it.
How did the athleticism at the combine impact your thoughts on him?
On Mason? Yeah, he obviously he was a big. He did great there. I mean, and, you know, you talk about, you know, guys that are, you know, in the green, we call it like a green, like your numbers wise in terms of like, you know, what his 10 time is and shuttle times and all that. And he did, you know, he was in that upper echelon of you know, timing and all that. So no, obviously it impacts it. It shows you the film is the film, and that's what we base it off of. But if you got guys that are close, that are similar, you know, like you get them ranked similar, and then you know, go back to the numbers and you look at that and you know, this guy's this guy's this. So that just gives you more of like a athletic, you know, quickness. And
what if you could do SEO smarter and faster? With Wix, you can edit your meta tags page by page or all in one go. Modify your URLs.
You know, number wise. So yeah, we look at that.
As an offensive line coach, how exciting is it to see the team really commit to building from the trenches, to see that just be a continued commitment?
No, it's great. I mean, it's, you know, it's obviously I'm biased coaching the line and being the next lineman. I mean, it's games are won in the trenches. That's true. I mean, it's cliche, but I mean, it's got to start up front. And it's just, you know, they're going to add to a room that we've been working on for a few years here now. That's going to just add to that group and to that room. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
What kind of benefit can there be when you have a big group of guys, they're all about the same age, kind of coming up doing a lot of the same things together in terms of team building, continuity, that kind of
No, it's good. Like I said, we got a good group in here, like the room itself. I mean, we got a good, you know, mixture of vets and older vets and mid, you know, 5th and 6th year guys, and, you know, Isaac's a 9th year guy, and now you're going to have, you know, Broderick's going to be a 2nd year guy, and we got 3 new ones coming in. So, you know, want to build that and stay, you know, you want to stay young as you can, young, healthy, hungry, all that. So it's going to be a fun process.
You know, guys that can really work in space with Mason, Zach, and Troy, and the other guys you have. How does that kind of help with your run game diversity? What you can do, pulling, wide zone, all that stuff.
Yeah, it gives us flexibility in the playbook for that type of stuff in terms of like athleticism and youth, and so it'll open up the playbook, and you know, obviously we'll have a system here, and we'll run, you know, the system that we have here, but, you know, having quality guys there, whether everyone's become starters or backups, you know, early on, and that'll play its way out. You know, that'll during OTA's spring camp and through training camp in July and August.
Is there a common trait these 3 guys had, or something you were kind of looking for that they checked off the box for you?
Like you said earlier, just I think the biggest thing is just their play style, the love of the game. And you can say that, well, all they do, but you know, some guys stand out, and all three of these young men, to me, it's their mental makeup, their approach to the game, the love of the game, you know, and just their play style in terms of being, you know, tenacious and wanting to finish guys. That's, you know, that was the thing that you say, what do all 3? Because they're all 3 going to be different in terms of like, you know, athleticism, but that mental makeup and the football background, that, you know, that they love the game and want to come in and compete right away.
Yours and 2 are multi-year starters, and all going to be 23 at least by the time the season starts. Does that help in terms of being able to hit the ground running?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be a little bit more mature than maybe somebody else that's coming in at 20 or 21. But they're all the guys that are in the draft right here. They're all, you know, it's individually going to be based off of, you know, how do they pick it up? How quickly do they pick it up? You know, the position that they're going to play, the competition, all that's going to, you know, play itself out.
Zach talked about how he likes to woodwork. Troy has hobbies like playing piano, cutting hair. I mean, is there something that you like to see in these offensive linemen that have hobbies outside of football? I mean, what does it kind of tell you about how their mind works or their approach to things?
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, like you say, like woodwork and that, like, you know, he likes to build things with his hands. So that's, whatever that is with his mental capacity in his hands. And, Troy was the team barber, like you said. Yeah, it's always neat to just find out like what drives these young men. And just so coming in, this is what his hobbies are. Whether it's, Mason's going to be like more of like the outdoorsman, more of like the fisherman and hunter and that type of stuff. So it's kind of neat, kind of unique. They're all individuals, they're all different. So, but it's kind of a unique perspective to see where they are and how they come from, what their other interests are outside of football.
When you look at these three offensive linemen you added, where do you think that they will continue to need development to reach their full potential?
Again, individually based, it's going to be different for everyone coming in. They got to get in here, and obviously they're going to work hard and they're going to work at it, and we're going to work with them. And we just got to figure out each one individually what they need to work on in terms of them attaining their goal of coming in and helping us here in the near future.
Mason coming from a lower level. Do you remember when he first popped up on your radar and what caught your attention about him?
This whole process with him, and like most of the guys, was from the combine on, or actually, maybe just before the combine, you go to the combine and you try to peak all these guys to have an idea of who they are. Unlike the scouts who have been doing it for, have been following these guys for a year or more. As a coach, you're watching these guys going into the combine to just get an idea who they are. And then like you said about like Mason with his numbers at the combine, the other guys too, it's just a process. It's just a long process of like figuring out who they are. You're at the combine, or here's what they did at the combine, these pro days, whatnot, and then evaluating their tape, from the last year or years in the past, if you want to go back and have them look at it, like versus Iowa or somebody else versus another team. So it's just a long process in terms of that, but it's obviously everybody's put a lot of work into it, and it's to this point it's worked out well for us.
Is the word ass kicker an apt description of?
Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that word?
That's why I said it for you.
Go ahead, say it again.
The word ass kicker, does it describe these three offensive linemen you've drafted?
I would say yes. That's that common, like I said, the three things that these guys have is these guys are tenacious. They play the game the way, quote unquote, the right way. They're the love of the game. All three of them truly have that love of the game and the passion for the game. And they want to get going right away. And that's obviously exciting for me as their position coach to work with them.
Two more here.
You have a number of guys that haven't worked well together. How do you accelerate that communication? Try to build that bond as quickly as possible.
Yeah, just a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of work on here over the next several months to find out, first of all, get them here and find out what they can do, where their comfort zones are, where they're not, where they're uncomfortable, and make that comfortable for them. And just hands on, and it's going to be a fun process, and it's going to be coming in in the NFL. It's, they're going to have obviously their ups and downs being young, but just the mindset and the mental makeup that they have, just keep working with them every day and keep getting them better each day.
Last one.
In what way have you seen the offensive line change the most since you got here and now had a couple years and several draft picks? But how has it changed? What would you say like the defining characteristic?
I think with the draft picks that we've had, we got 2 last year and with Broderick and Spencer, and then we get 3 now, and then the free agents that we brought in too. We've essentially changed the look of the room. In the last 2 years, we've changed the look of the room. It's new guys. It's new guys, new starts. I can't say there's not a guy in this room that they come every day. They want to work. This group wants to get better. A tight knit group together. They do a lot of things together. It's the kind of, it's the way I'd like to put a room together, a thought process of like coming to work every day and enjoying it because they enjoy it and they want to get better. So it's just a mixture of all that.
Thanks, Beth.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah, man. Interesting guy. I like that all of our offensive linemen are kind of different. But offensive linemen, man, no matter where you're from, what you got into, what you do, y'all worlds always end up connecting, man. Not always, but the successful offensive line groups, you guys they all kind of gel, man. So they're gonna teach each other's world, what they do. I think I heard him say that that Mason's a barber. Russell Wilson, I know you shouted out all the draftees, bro. Get your hair cut by Mason in front of everybody, man, in the locker room. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. But look, we're gonna get into his highlights, and then we're gonna move on. Mm. Okay. I get them blocks, man. I like the pool though. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna come in and be a starter though. He's definitely gonna be a backup to Isaac and Dan. James Daniels. He got the size where it's like, yo, I like he can move. He can move. He can move. Let's see if they got one more pull. I want to see another pull. I want to see a success, like a real successful one, like a home run. Okay. I like that. Okay. Double team, get off your block. Okay. Next level, excuse me. Okay. Dang. Yeah, man. Knock on wood. Anything happens to them guards, I'll kind of feel confident with him in the game. Granted, we got to see what he do with the, with NFL talent, but just the way his technique, the way he gets out there, stays square, it's not like out of control running and all that out there. Okay. Okay. All right. Definitely, I feel like he could be a solid backup for the guys. Our next pick, back to defense, being a D tackle. They call him a DN. I'm seeing D tackle, but we got coach up here. I forgot my man's name, but we got the D-line coach up here. He's going to speak his piece about Mr. Logan Lee.
Piece to the puzzle. I think Logan Lee brings a lot of good things to the table. He has size, he has length. He's a strong kid that can do some things. Watched him play, had a lot of interaction with him at the combine. He came up here on a top 30 visit. Good young man, and I think he fits the Steeler mold.
Why do you think he fits the Steeler mode? What is it about?
Strong-handed, big man, and I think he's very, very mature.
What's the key when you draft a defensive lineman at this point, a little bit later in the draft, to developing him into a contributor early in his career?
I think the thing is just, are they fundamentally sound? Can they take coaching? And those are some of the things we saw with Logan when we watched the film. And we understand his pedigree, where he comes from and what they did at Iowa. And I think that's the thing when taking him at this position makes it good for the Steelers.
Carl, where do you kind of project him along the line? Like, how far out can he go and how far in can he go?
I think he's a defensive end. When I say defensive end, he can play anywhere from the 5 technique to a 0, because he's that kind of guy. He has the girth for his 295 pounds that he could play outside because he has a little speed, but he's going to be mostly an interior guy, a defensive end in our 3-4 package.
You guys have a lot of wrestlers. He's another state champion that you've added. What do you like so much about wrestlers, and who do you think would win in a heavyweight match between all these guys you got now?
I just think, guys with the wrestling background, they come with balance and body control. And when you play in the interior, whether it be an offensive lineman or defensive line, the wrestling background really helps you because of what do you go through down in and down out.
Anyone else?
Carl, were you looking for something specific when you went to add a piece to the current defensive line you have now? Was it just youth, or was there something you feel like maybe you were missing?
We're just looking for the right fit at the right time, and I think we got that with Logan Lee.
All right.
Thank you.
Logan Lee highlights, as you can see. First play, he was over the nose. Okay. I said on the podcast, man, that this is the replacement, a potential replacement for either Isaiah Loudermilk or the Marvin Leal. But enough of me. Let's see what he do.
Consistent in pass protection in the National Football League. From midfield, play fake, Levis looking downfield, gets hit and sacked. It's Logan Lee, who proposed to his girlfriend down here
Fourth sack as we're see Logan Lee working here on the inside. See him just be able to win inside there on corner the center.
Elsewhere, but that is his home, and they have done a great job. Gronowski hesitated. Gronowski feeling the pressure, spun down. Logan Lee. None of this, could they pass protect if they had to? Just a straight four-man rush.
And getting him down here first to goal. He's going to be the lead blocker here, but Deckers is taken down. Not fooled Logan Lee.
Third down and 2 at the 7. Williams doesn't look like he has it.
Anytime you get those, they're just such a drive killer and so hard to overcome. Sullivan hit and sacked. Logan Lee, you can see him using his hands there. Guy plays with a high motor, a lot of passion.
Here's Mertz. Corralled in the backfield. Deontay Craig block punt earlier. Logan Lee in there as well. Do have a flag down. And it is Lee and Craig. Feet at Mertz. Great move by Lee. One-on-one hit by Mortellini. Bell from the Bronx, but of course played his high school ball at Taft School in Connecticut. And here's Allen met right away, and there was just nowhere to go. First man there was Ethan Herkin. Yeah, Herkin, the sophomore from Cedar Rapids, wears 49. He's right there, just turning. Allen. It's been a long time since I was beaten here on the home turf.
Yeah, he gets after it, man. He gets after it.
Is where the pig came from. And I think they finally decided that it wasn't perhaps as sanitary as it needed to be over time, so they made a Floyd of Rosedale trophy.
After a few games, Mickey Joseph takes over.
Yo. You know, that's him. That's his highlights. Like I said, man, I think he's going to be competition for Marvin Leal and Isaiah Loudermilk. I'm trying to think, did we sign Martravius Adams? I don't think we signed him. I think he was somewhere else. I'm not sure, but definitely those two guys, man. Step up or lose your job. After that, they didn't have no real press conference for him. Well, that's up here that I see. But we end up drafting Ryan Watts, and this is his highlights. We won't get into that. Shout out.
Bill Rowe launching to the end zone, broken up beautifully. Ryan Watts.
First down, Martinez. Taking back. 96 yards away. He got hit and lost the football. There's a marker down.
7 yards away from doing that against Texas, where the Cowboys are backed up. That will help solve that problem very quickly.
When Avery Johnson, the freshman, comes in, 2nd and 12. Near side throw. And what a hit.
It's across the middle. Catch is made by Kobe Prentice.
Malik Murphy. Slova's throwing on first down, in trouble, and throws a deep ball. Incomplete. Going for
Barry for Texas. Martinez on the hunt. Adrian Martinez is drilled.
Me and Isaiah Nayor right here at the University of Texas. Swoboda takes a hit. He's still up, but the second man will.
But for Texas Tech, this UT program is, the big bad brother. 35 to go in the first half. Howard setting up a screen. He's got his man. This time it's
here as an adjustment.
And McClellan picks his way. He's going to be stopped about 4 yards.
2nd down and 2. Empty for Martinez. Quick hit to the outside and Let's do some soft shoe with the long
With the quarterback Robertson on second down and
All right, y'all. To wrap this thing up, we got Omar Khan and Coach Mike Tomlin wrapping up the draft. I feel like I'm caught up now to see what they say, what's going on, to see if there's anything I missed, and then we're going to get out of here. But we're going to get into it, y'all. Appreciate y'all for sticking out, man. It's a nice number in here. Salute to everybody, man. right now. Yeah, man. Overall, I think it's dope, man. I'm ready for camp. I want to know how serious this this play on getting a receiver, a big playmaker, a big receiver. Maybe we get somebody, maybe we don't. Maybe it's smoke and mirrors. Who knows? Yo, imagine if we got Deontay Adams. Man, that's it. SteelersFor7LIVE. That's it. I did that, man. But that's not all it was when it comes to VSN, man. I want to give a big shout out to VSN basketball. You know what I mean? Headed by, you feel me, Chubby OG over there. Whole bunch of things over there, man. Salute the bro. Also, salute to the freshly starting team of this show right here. This is the first episode, bro. So it's like we can go anywhere, but let's talk about what happened tonight. Let's get tonight out the way, and then we can talk wrestling talk later. Yeah. Wrestle with greatness, man. Cav Easy, the Dread Man. We talk that shit, man. Wrestling's at a good time right now. It's enjoyable, very enjoyable. If you ain't watching it, you watching this, watch it. You feel me? We're gonna be talking about it, man. But that's the new show. that I'm doing right there. But I'm also a producer behind the scenes type. And y'all, if y'all not familiar, y'all need to get familiar. This is the show right here that I produce, not starring, but hosted by Mariah. You feel me? It's called Tall Woman Perspective. So check it out.
Those are those pressure points and a lot of tension in those areas.
For those, for those folks, but everybody's different. So one person wants the Swedish, one person wants the deep tissue, sports massage. This person love being stretched out. Some people love being stretched out. And they ask for the Thai massage. Now I'm up on the table, twisting them and turning them, and they love it.
Here's my next question for you, because I've been dying to ask. Now,
let's do it. Let's do
have
it.
you been asked for a happy ending after those massages?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, you said
Absolutely.
okay. That happens all the time. Like, it happens.
Yeah, all the time. All the time. Because that just some people, that's in their mind, that's what I don't know. That's what massage is.
I just want to point out. I mean, you said, since she might have had that, so she.
A Tall Woman Perspective. It can get crazy over there. Make sure y'all check that out. Make sure y'all subscribe and all that. And also, man, like I said, if y'all did not see season 8, first episode 143, the SteelersFor7 podcast, y'all can check that thing on out on the YouTube page. I know some people on X. Make sure y'all check out the YouTube page, man. The YouTube page, y'all already know. Just check it out. But this is a little quick highlight of what was going on. I don't want to say a highlight, but this is a quick matchup of what went on the last episode. Next episode will be live tomorrow, but this is what happened in the last one. So get familiar.
Be the number 2 to Pickens. He can run routes. He got good hands. He can catch the intermediate passes. That's his MO. That's what he did. That's what he do.
But I say we use him as our top route runner.
Yeah,
that's what I say.
Yeah, that's what he. I'm be honest with you. Coming in, he already kind of.
You a rookie. You really got to earn it.
George Pickens did. He did. Hold on, Pickens did. You gotta remember, Pickens didn't start out the gate. Yeah. And then when he was tearing it up in camp though. Remember, he was crushing it in camp.
He was making his name known early.
Yeah. So I mean, he earned it though. You know what I'm saying? He had to earn it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, I love our draft, man. I love everything we've been doing over the last 2 years, to be completely honest.
Taking risks.
Yeah.
For the first time in a decade, we're actually taking risks, and I love it.
Hey, Dre, it's been longer than a decade. It's been longer than a decade, bro. I know y'all younger than me, but it's other people that'll tell you it's been longer than a decade. It probably been like 2 decades, maybe even 3.
SteelersFor7 podcast everywhere. YouTube, baby. Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast at. It's there for you, baby. It's there for you. But y'all, SteelersFor7 SteelersFor7 Live. You know what I mean? It's in the books. I like it. I'm gonna do a lot more of these, man. It's not gonna be this long, because I literally had to catch up. I didn't watch any post draft videos or anything, man. I've been so into the New York Knicks right now. Playoffs, man. Tomorrow, you already know I'm locked in. But in the same time, I'm gonna be live while the Knicks is playing. I'm gonna watch the Knicks game, and I'm gonna be talking to you. And shout out to the homies, man. They're gonna be on there too. Y'all gonna see when y'all see them. So it's your guy, Kev Easy, man. I'm out, man.
Trying to kick it like Drake, we do for the Sixers, then we can kick it. Yeah, this our division. The other 3 go missing. Come on, let's get it. Yeah, this our division. Super Bowl, let's win it. SteelersFor7. Yeah, we about to go get it. Still a gang, we win it. Go down in the trenches. Yeah, we ain't trying to kick it like Drake, we do it for the Sixers, then we can kick it. Yeah, this our division. The other 3 go missing. Come on, let's get it. Yeah, this our division. Super Bowl, let's win it.